Hi, welcome to this episode of City Corner. We're going to be talking about the Scout Guide St. Louis and Afghani St. Louisans stepping up. Come on back. Again, welcome to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a lot of good information for you. And right now here in the studios with me is Miss Stacy Galterman, who is the editor and publisher for the Scout Guide St. Louis. This is a brand new magazine that has quality print publications and is highlighting premier independent small businesses in the St. Louis area. And what you're doing here, Stacy, is helping people, locals and visitors, find out more about how great St. Louis is and the businesses here. Tell us more about it.
Correct. The Scout Guide St. Louis is a local publication that provides a guidance to living local in the St. Louis community, supporting local, and being aware of what great opportunities are available here in St. Louis.
It's really a beautiful magazine. Now, I had become acquainted basically with the website when I got the information on it, and it just blew my mind. I went there and I looked up what you had, and it was like all these vibrant pictures of different small businesses here in the St. Louis area who are trying to make it. Tell us about this pandemic in the last 18 months and what it's been like for you and these businesses trying to really make a difference here at this point.
It definitely has been challenging, both for the Scout Guide and for the local businesses. We try to promote local businesses by giving them the beautiful print opportunity,
Yes.
Promotion on social media, and events to collaborate throughout the St. Louis community. So the events kind of fell back, obviously, a little bit in the COVID time. But we found other ways through social media, through virtual events and other ways in the community to bring our members together and to really promote the hours they were open, the products they were still offering, and how they were turning their business to adapt to the new normal.
Yeah, it definitely is a new normal, and I'm sure you heard lots of stories about, oh my goodness, we have no idea how we're going to do XYZ, but I'm sure you heard a lot of creative ways in which businesses made a difference. What are some of the things that some of the businesses decided to do that was different this round?
You know, I think a lot of our businesses really pivoted to offering online services and, you know, when their stores may not have been able to be open, or just different ways for them to reach out to the St. Louis community in a virtual way that really popped up. And we were still able to promote our businesses and put the guide out there for people to go to their online websites.
You also have, and like I said, I became acquainted with the website. I had no idea that you actually have a print hard copy book. And this is your 4th edition, and you're going into your 5th edition pretty soon.
It's correct, yes. The Scout Guide is all about the print guide. That's the heartbeat of the Scout Guide. But we put the value with it to also do the social media promotion and the events. And yes, we're very excited about Volume 4 that just launched last week.
That is awesome, awesome. Now tell us, the Scout Guide is something that's been around for a while, and St. Louis has got its own character. So tell us about where the Scout Guide came from and how you got into doing this here in St. Louis.
Correct. The Scout Guide is headquartered in Charlottesville, Virginia. Okay. It's founded by 2 women in 2010. And it's spread throughout the United States. There's 64 Scout Guides across the United States that you can check out as you're traveling. But yes, I brought the Scout Guide here to St. Louis. I happened to be in Charlottesville visiting a friend. It was on her coffee table.
Wow.
I grabbed it, was like, okay, why is this not in St. Louis? St. Louis is an awesome city. We need people to know that. So I came back here, started talking to some of my small business owner friends, and ran it by them and said, you know, it's different. It's really a new and exciting publication. They were like, we would definitely come on board. And so then I started the Scout Guide 4 years ago, and it was a slow start like any other small business. But now I really feel like the brand and the awareness is taking hold in St. Louis.
Great. So when you come back again from year to year to year for people to buy into what it is you're doing, are you getting that satisfaction from clients that are saying, it worked for me, let's keep doing this, I want to get back into this?
It's true. Actually, St. Louis has one of the highest renewal rates in the Scout Guide. We have 7 members that have been in the Scout Guide in all 4 volumes.
Really?
And obviously, consistency throughout the guides is the most return on your investment with the Scout Guide, just because people are seeing your business over and over and really seeing, obviously we have no words in the Scout Guide, people just see the picture. So the picture really has to tell the story, and you have to pick it up and go, I want to meet that person, or I want to go into that business and support local.
I had to say that when I went on like I said, I became acquainted with it online, and oh my God, the ads there were just inviting. You just want to step into the pictures. They were almost like HD. And especially if you had it up on a big screen, it's like, that is just so beautiful. I would love to get to know those folks or go into that business and buy something, because some of the items there that they have are really nice. Or the backgrounds of some of the pictures, especially of some of the designers that you have in the booklet, architects that you have there, what they have. I'm like, oh, wow, I would love for them to come and design something in my business or in my home, et cetera, et cetera.
It's true. I have a fabulous team that is very creative and dynamic. My photographer, Joan Fisher, is extraordinary at what she does. And so they really pull together the story of the business. And we try to make the guide unique. Like you said, we try to tie in products, services, home decor, builders, architects, medical, you name it, boutiques, restaurants. We just want to have the whole gamut in the guide to make it interesting and exciting when it pops up in your mailbox.
Now, it's one thing that you said in the press release that I got on the opening of your guide here in October, is that you were pushing for health and wellness kinds of things, and that it was important to you. Why?
I feel like COVID, again, made us all look at self-care and wellness and what we were doing since we had to spend so much time in our homes. Yeah. So we pulled together a really unique shared spread in our volume 4 book called Live Beautifully, Live Well. Yeah. And, it was just different ways, not only the fitness piece of going out to Resource Fitness, but it has things in it like plants, which just make people feel well in their home, hair and makeup, and CBD products. And, it just really some different angles of approaching health and wellness. And I really feel like going forward, that'll still be a focus in our guide.
It's going to be a big focus, because I think people are now probably looking more towards, okay, what can I do to make myself feel better? What can I do to stay better, with reference to counseling, psychology, those kinds of things that are going to really make a difference in the future, because this pandemic has probably shaken a lot of little ids here and there.
It's true.
It made a really huge difference. Now, for women in business, is this something that you always did? You always been in advertising and sales?
No, I have not. I used to be a shoe buyer.
Really?
Yeah, so I was in the retail world, so this is new and exciting for me. When, as I knew my daughter was headed to college, I was like, something different again, and I just enjoy meeting people in the St. Louis community. That's my favorite part about this, even if they don't end up advertising in the Scout Guide. I love just getting to know what's out there and available in our community. So I jumped on board, and the sales part just came along with it.
What do you think the differences are for women in business getting into something like this? This was new for you. You decided, hey, after I'll see this book, this is great. How can I get into this? What are some of the differences about women getting into business than if you would look at the opposite sex, and how they're able to get into business and do things differently from us? What do you think about the differences?
It's funny you ask that, because the Scout Guide turns out that is about, probably 90% of the people in my guide are women in small business, and it just turned out that way. We have collaborated with the Women's Creative and really saw a lot of women makers and creators out there that are here in St. Louis. So when I look at that overall, it's just women getting out there and making a presence. And yes, it has been obviously a lot tougher than men, which we've known over time. But I really feel like people now are aware, and they're taking a second look at Women in Business. And the Scout Guide is actually just about to do an actual feature on small business, women in small business for the month of October, because that is, when we would like to celebrate that, because it's Women's Small Business Month. Sorry.
Now, exactly. So basically, when you're looking at the guide for online, that's an opportunity for you to stay a little bit more fluid than if you had the publication that comes out once a year. The publication stays a bit more fluid and you're able to do activities on there or things that are happening in businesses. How does that work?
It's true. I mean, the best way, obviously people love to collect the print guide in their home, but the best way to stay in touch with us is to be on the city page, which is, stlouis.thescoutguide.com. Reach out there, look at the editorial pieces, the events, everything that our businesses are doing all year long. And then we also have an amazing Facebook and Instagram page that we keep up to date also, just to make sure the community knows what's going on in all of our members' businesses.
How are people responding to it? What kind of response are you getting from folks? Is there a certain demographic that's tuning into it? Is there a certain part of the city that's tuning into it? What are you seeing?
Well, it's pretty much across the board. That was one of my goals when I started the Scout Guide, was to go all the way from the city all the way out to the Chesterfield, Wildwood area.
Get everybody.
How can I get everybody involved? And then we, our demographic, is more women than men. But that's understandable because women are shopping and doing.
Sure.
And, but we have had more and more men. And our demographic, has even gotten a lot broader as the guides have gone along. I feel like we go all the way from that 25-year-old, now really to a 65, 70-year-old. We're really seeing it all across the board and all over St. Louis. And new areas are becoming stronger. There's a lot going on in Webster and Kirkwood. It really has been received great in the St. Louis community.
That's great.
I cannot say
great.
thank
so
you
you're
enough.
Seeing a really great difference with reference to people coming to you, wanting to come back on board, which is great. Repeat business is always...
It is a good thing.
It's a good thing to happen. And you're really seeing a real good synergy happen here with a lot of great businesses together. I was talking to you before we went on the air that I attended this pop-up for the Women's Creative recently, and it was just phenomenal seeing all these ladies there with these different types of businesses, from yoga to hand creams to scarves to clothing in one space. It really made a big difference.
It is. The greatest thing about the Scout Guide is we try to customize it to the size of your business too. I mean, we have a lot of different opportunities depending on what your marketing budget might be.
I really appreciate you coming on board.
Thank
we have
you.
got to talk more down the line and stay in touch with each other and continue to promote what you're doing out there. Thank you so much. I wish you the best, and call on us anytime.
Okay.
You got something to promote in the Scout Guide.
Thank you so much.
And we will be back with more information on what's going on here in the St. Louis area.
Selfie. Nailed it.
There's so many reasons to love St. Louis, you can't pick just one. the arts, architecture, and culture. An all-new development, including the Cortex Community Center. And you're never too far from great music and entertainment.
So come and experience St. Louis.
Hi, I'm Robin Boyce, and welcome back to City Corner. And in the studio with me right now is a wonderful student that I just got a chance to meet. Her name is Fahima Band Ali, and she's a student at Webster University, and she's working right now to help out those countrymen of hers from Afghanistan feel real comfortable about coming to the St. Louis community at this time. There were about 1,000 Afghanis that the United States said that will come to the St. Louis area. We don't know quite how many are here yet, but Fahima, you have been working hard overtime to make this happen. You're like this one-woman show on the campus who's saying, hey, I want to help my people out. Tell us about this venture, and why did you decide to do this?
So first of all, I moved here in 2017, so
Okay.
I know how difficult it is to move from a different country, in a different country that you don't know the language, that you don't know the culture, and you don't know the people. So it is extremely difficult. And also as a teenager, I was struggling to fit in, and I was struggling to know how to act or how to do everything. But just thinking about those refugees that they're coming here after a trauma and after violence and everything, and I can imagine them feeling how they would feel coming here. So I think it is even more difficult for them when they arrive here. And the situations in Afghanistan, even me watching from the news, it was traumatizing for me.
I'm sure it was for you to see that. Now, living in Afghanistan and living under, I guess, at some point in time, you were dealing with the Taliban rules and regulations that they had over there. Tell us, what was that like for you? And when Americans came in, did that really help the cause over there?
So I was born in 2001, so I don't
So
actually...
you don't remember a whole lot of it, but there's some of it that you do remember seeing happen.
Yeah, when I was... So I don't remember Taliban regimes or anything,
Gotcha.
but there were some influence of the Taliban still, even after 2001 when I was growing up. So there was still some insecurities around the school that I was going and also in the community. You could hear bombs that were going around you, and you could never know that when that happens, and you might be close to it. Something could happen to you at any time. So there were some influence of that, and also especially with the Islamic rule, the community were still covering, women were still covering themselves, but not so much that they were covering the entire body or their face. They were just wearing a headscarf, but I can't say that there weren't any Taliban influence. There was still some Taliban influence.
So when the Americans came into Afghanistan to make the moves that they made several years ago, did any of their presence at that time while you were getting ready to leave the country, because you came over in 2017, did that make a difference for women going to school, getting an education? Because there were some women at the time who were able to go to school, go to college with the American influence there. Did you see that difference happening there at that time?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that the American really helped the women, especially because they were gaining their rights and they were gaining more freedoms and more involvement in society. So I could see that women are getting involved, and women are getting involved even in politics. So I could see that. I think, yeah, the American soldiers really helped Afghanistan.
Yeah. Okay, so you saw really a big difference. Also, I read somewhere where you said that America probably should have came in there at a different time and at a different season. And you said the winter was the best time for America to probably make this change. Tell us about that. Why would winter be a better time?
First of all, summer is a fighting season for the Taliban and for
People don't know
anyone.
that. Yes, tell us about it.
Summer is the easiest time to fight into everything, but winter just create a challenge for them because the weather is not good and everyone is inside their houses, and also it is hard to train their soldiers, especially the Taliban. So the summer is the perfect time for them to get the violence going and to get their attacks going. And I think United States did not have a good timing with withdrawing the troops. I don't blame them for anything,
Right.
but it is something that they could have done better with the timing. And if they withdrew their troops in a winter or just waited until the winter come, it would be a better timing, since the Taliban, it would be a lot harder for them too.
I know. Tell us about your experience in coming to America and coming to the St. Louis area. You have family that was here already that sponsored you and your family here coming into St. Louis, Missouri. What were those days like for you as a young teenage person trying to understand, where am I right now?
So I arrived in Chicago airport, and my family came there, and me and my sister came together, my older sister.
Okay.
So they came to the Chicago airport, and they picked at us, and we just started driving to St. Louis. So when I came here, it was a good feeling that I know that that everything is safe and nothing will happen. And also I was super excited about going to school because I knew that there would be a lot more opportunities for me and I can do a lot more here and really pursue my passions. And also even I think in middle school, I was interested in going to politics and going to law school, but I knew that Afghanistan is not a good space for me to pursue my passions or have a lot more opportunities.
You are a political science major, as a matter of fact. Let's say that at Webster University.
Yes.
So you have a passion for politics and helping people out. You don't think maybe one day you'd go back to Afghanistan and try to help make some of those changes, or go work for the UN, for example, and be one of those kinds of individuals or agents that would go and try to make change in Afghanistan?
I would love that, but this is not a good timing for me because, you know, as a woman and also as a student, it is not a good time for me to go back to Afghanistan. But I really hope that that the Afghan citizens can take the country back from the Taliban, and there will be some more stability in Afghanistan. I would love to go and visit them, and also yes, I'm really hoping that there is a time that I can go back and see.
Because you still have family there, right?
I have just an aunt there, and it is an aunt with her family there. Yeah,
That you'd like to have come here to America, or you'd like to at least go there and visit her and see how she's doing.
Absolutely.
When while here in the United States, I read that you, as a young person, had some, you felt a little weird in the classroom sometimes of people accepting you. Are you hoping that that is not the case with some of the refugees that are coming over, that it's better for them? What would you tell St. Louisans to do with reference to the refugees that are coming to St. Louis, Missouri?
First of all, a lot of my classmates in high school, they were familiar with Syrian refugees or Arabic immigrants or all those immigrants, but I was a new person for them. And I was the first Afghan person that they were meeting. So it was harder for them to understand that I'm not Arabic or I'm not Syrian. So it was a lot harder for me to explain myself to them or explain my culture to them. So, and also, as someone who couldn't speak English really well, and also I was not familiar with the culture.
You've done quite well, young lady. You've done quite well.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you're saying that it was a little difficult to get other people to understand who you are.
Absolutely, because a lot of people, when I was saying that I'm an Afghan student, their first thought looking at me, they thought that I'm some sort of Asian person from Japan or Korea or even Chinese. So it was something that it was a lot harder for me to explain myself that I'm an Afghan.
Right. So it took you a while to get them to understand, no, this is who I am and this is what I'm about. So did you find that rewarding or exhausting to do that? And what would you say to those individuals now with new folks coming on in?
I really say that those refugees have been through a lot, and they have faced traumas, violence, and everything. I really hope that if they're teenagers, they can feel welcomed here in St. Louis, and also in any school that they're attending. Their school teachers, their school administrators, they know that it is hard for a teenager to fit in a society that they're not familiar with the culture and language. So I really hope that those teachers help those students to feel more welcomed. And also I really hope that those teenagers around those refugees make them feel welcomed and make them feel safe.
Very good. You've been working with the International Institute. Tell us a little bit more about that.
I've met Sir Arya Benson, the CEO and the president of the International Institute, and I was wanting to help the Afghan refugees because a lot of things happen.
So he's been very helpful in helping you form that partnership and helping out the refugees?
Yes, he helped me and advised me to organize the event, and also my professor at Webster University, Professor Rosenblum, helped me to organize the event. And also my friend Ego is here. He helped me to organize and everything.
Your Nigerian friend.
Yes.
Yes.
So a lot of people were super helpful for me, and I'm so grateful to have them and to have their support in everything that I do. And it was a great event, and we had a lot of people that come, and it was an informative event too, because we had speakers. We had speakers, and they talked about how every individual can use their voices, and they can do something to help
out. Are there certain things that you need from St. Louisans right now to help out the refugees? What are you looking for them to give at this time? Is it money? Are there items? What do you think the refugees need?
So far, I talked with Mr. Arya Benson, and he said that he is receiving a lot of items, a lot of things. And he specifically told me that if I can push my fundraiser and also tell people that if they can help monetarily, that would be great, since they're receiving a lot of items and household items. And
awesome, to help everybody kind of bridge the gap to move on into the St. Louis area. I want to thank you so much for coming in. We'll have a lot more people who are going to call you, and if not call you, but email you. We're going to put that information up and maybe talk with you more about what's going on and the needs of the refugees here in the St. Louis area. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. This is fantastic. And call on us anytime you need help and getting the word out there about what it is you're doing in your efforts. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in to City Corner. I'm Robin Boyce. We'll see you next time.